In episode 1, we unmasked the citrus crown, the loud distraction. But behind him rests two pillars. We have the Azure Hall and we have the Scarlet House. That's why I have my red and blue right here again today. It looks so weird. Why does it look weird today? I don't know. To understand this whole play, we have to look beyond the masks. And to be, clear about this, the reason why I wanted to do this series is because of what I've felt since November. It's like this cognitive dissonance watching the Azure Hall. I felt something off. They haven't been acting right, or what they should be acting compared to what they say, or what they, you know what I mean? And that's kind of what kicked off this research for me. And by all means, do your own research. This is just what I have found. I didn't go deep, dark, but just enough to peel back the masks of what we're told so we can look at what's really going on, who is really writing the scripts. But before we get behind the Azure Hall and the Scarlet House, which once we get behind there, you'll start to see a lot more. Let's first talk about the Azure Hall and the Scarlet House. So the Azure Hall, which I've been part of my whole life, it speaks the language of calm, of reason, of compassion, of fairness and reform. But, well, first let's just say there's a truth to that. There's gifts in that, and there's real things that have happened that have helped people, okay? There is some truth and there is some real stuff in there. But Azure Hall is entangled, and I've been saying this for a while, that they're compromised. And I didn't want to believe that. It took a long time for me to see that clearly, but honestly, that's the gift of this time period, is that I finally see the Azure Hall is compromised. I mean, without a doubt, it's what I believe. So it speaks of peace while feeding the desert banquet. Think about it. There's so many things that the Azure Hall do that does not make sense. Because if they really wanted things to be different, it would be, wouldn't it? And wouldn't they vote in the direction of what they say they care about? Wouldn't that be congruent? So you can't say one thing and vote another way. That becomes very clear. So every promise of care is tied to the iron net, who ensures that the banquets never end. And we're going to have them end in our lifetimes. Azures comfort, but their thread goes back to the iron net and to the desert banquet. Now let's talk about the Scarlet House. The Scarlet House. So they once wore the mask of restraint. I mean, the Scarlet House today is not the Scarlet House of when I grew up. And I don't even hold it against people who were Scarlet Houses when I was younger. It's the Scarlet House of today because it's completely been overtaken. But they once wore the mask of restraint, of the ledger, the balance sheet. It was about financial conservatism, the old order. But those Scarlets are fading. Today's Scarlets have been overtaken by the citrus crown's people. The color of my hand, men facing their majority, the loss of their majority, thrashing in rage and cruelty. It's the death rattle dressed in red hats. Their creed is not Scarlet's old conservatism, but slabs of blueprint fathers and ash quill P2025 etched into law. We're going to go deeper into the blueprint fathers and ash quill. Ash quill is actually in the next episode. But we're going to go deeper into the ones who are really writing these laws, because they're the ones who are writing the scripts. And with them in Iron Net, they're kind of controlling everything. So, and now you have the new grid lords who are also controlling a lot, because they control the codes and the gathering of the information, the surveillance. It's crazy what's going on right now. But we have to, even if you're not good at history or stuff like that, I hope to make this interesting and concise enough for you to follow along. So this is episode 2. Watch episode 1. I have them in a playlist both on TikTok and YouTube. Try to watch the whole series so that you understand a little bit more, and then you can do your own research through the parts that you want more clarity on. And if you do have more information, feel free to leave it in the comments so you can educate me and the others that are watching this. Because the more we know, the better we are. Because if we're fighting the citrus crown and then we're all cheering in the streets when citrus crown is finally taken out, Ash Quill and Blueprint Fathers are already aware of this. Do you think they haven't planned for citrus crown's demise? They're ready. They're already ready. That's why it feels like they're 10 steps ahead, because they are. So back to the Scarlet house, they cloak their hatred in false flock, tricking believers into thinking that their rage is divine. The false flock. You guys are looking at the glossary, right? On my Substack. I'll have the link in the comments and in the description and wherever else, but it's in my Substack. I can't think of the word. I'm sorry. So let's now talk about the eclipse papers. These are the cages. This is the cage of the blackmail. Okay, both houses are compromised. That's why everyone has to get through their heads. Both houses are compromised. The entire schmazel is compromised. Everyone, except for a few superstars that stand out that aren't deep entrenched in all this yet, but everybody is. And I'm not even saying it's their fault. Like, it's not all just because they're bad people. I think sometimes they're put in situations where maybe their lives are threatened or their families' lives are threatened. I mean, it's not, this is big and serious. And when I say compromise, I mean sometimes against their will, you know. So we have to figure this out to save them as well. So at the heart of the compromise lies these eclipse papers. And this is the black ledger of secrets, control, and leverage. Okay? Iron Net is not just tied to the eclipse papers. He is the architect. He's the one who commissioned and weaponized them. And now Stonefist holds a copy. And in the recent meeting in the U.S. soil, Stonefist reportedly used this copy to threaten Citrus Crown and directly. And witnesses said that Citrus and his circle left that meeting shaken. So the masks within masks, all bound by the ledger's shadow. So the dance of the houses is Azure calms, Scarlet rages, and to the people they look opposed. So we think, oh, I'm the Azure, I'm the Scarlet, when really they're both kind of doing the same thing. I mean, other than, you know, the topical stuff, that's why I'll never be a Scarlet, because I'm a people person. I care about people. I have compassion. And I believe in like universal health care. And I believe in all these things that people should have as just because you're born and that's the life I want to live in. And I don't understand why we have to make everything about profit. It's ridiculous. So anyways, the strings are visible now. Okay. I wrote a script. That's why I'm reading over here on my phone. But the strings are visible now. Both houses perform the same lines. Remember, it's theater, okay? They're performing the same writer, you guys. Different. They know that they're different characters and they have to have different energies, but same thing. Both are entangled in the banquet. And both are bound by eclipse papers. So, different colors, same cage. Now, toward the scribe. The houses are not the authors, they're the actors. So who writes their lines? In episode 3, the next episode, we're going to descend into the desk of the Ash Quill, the cruel scribe who turns words into cages and drafts hatred into law. He's a very miserable little man, but I'm going to go behind and show who he is. How did he get in this position? And, you know, the fact that he is the scribe for the Blueprint Fathers. And he puts his face out there and, you know, anyways. So from masks to councils, from shadow to light, the circles are rooting now. I'll see you in the next episode.